Hi, Shabbat Shalom. I would be fooling myself and certainly fooling you also if I could give a Shabbat message that would be in some way reminiscent of the messages that I've given in the past, or even the emotions that I would try to bring forward as we get ready for Shabbat. It was a really painful week for so many people in our congregation. And it wasn't just this week. The election followed a really terrible cycle of politics, and it's not over in the sense that there's such major issues that there's a great deal of concern about, which range from women's rights to the environment, and all sorts of issues that impact our lives. But for many of us, even more importantly, they affect the lives of our children and our grandchildren. I only can encourage everyone, if you're celebrating Trump's victory, or if you're mourning it because of your fear about what's going to be with our society and democracy and freedom, that everybody stay engaged, and that each one of us, no matter what side we stand on, are willing to enter into respectful dialogue and the realization that democracy depends on every single person. I'm wondering if there was anything that can be garnered from this week's Parsha. And I do think there's something. There's probably a few things, but I'd like to mention one. We're reading Parshat Lech Lecha. That's the third Parsha in the book of Breshit, in the book of Genesis. And the story shifts from being a story of the entire universe and God's disappointment in his creation to God turning to one person, to Avram, who becomes Avraham, and tells him to leave his homeland, to leave his father's house, and to go to a new land that he promises to Avram and his descendants. And there will be a covenant which is made. God will be his people's God. God will give them the land. The covenant on the side of Avram and his descendants is that they create a world that's filled with justice and filled with righteousness. That's not an easy contract to enter into, but Avram agrees to do so. But where's he going, and what's he going to do? He's like moving towards a great unknown. And what we find is that during a very difficult time in world history, Avram is willing to hear that call and to move forward. He can only move forward like we can only move forward, one step at a time. He can only move forward like we can move forward, with the best intentions. He can only move forward like we move forward, with the commitment to that which God calls us to. And that's a commitment to tzedek and mishpat, to righteousness and to justice. We'll see what happens in the days ahead. We can hope for the best, and we will stay together as a community that does believe in kindness and righteousness and justice, a community that has been very grateful to live in this great country where there can be fair and free elections, where there can be an honest and a respectful transition of power. That's what we look forward to, and we look forward to doing that together as a community that supports each other and loves each other, and I will say, loves this country. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.